Hello, Hiro. I'm really grateful that you agreed to come and have a conversation about riding bikes and
thanks for inviting.
Being a Condor.
Pleased to be here.
So I wonder, how would you like to introduce yourself to your fellow club members?
I'm Hiro. I am Japanese and I'm a keen cyclist of certain speed. I don't race, but I really enjoy group rides, coming out on Saturday, Sundays, club rides, great. I cycle all year. As long as it's slow, I can go quite a distance. So that's me.
So what's quite a distance for you? Because that's a tricky one, right?
Yeah, sure. So I'm not ultra cyclist, but I like doing, 80K in the winter, 50 miles. During the summer, I like to do some centuries mix, but that's the kind of distance I do. 20 would be too short. Yeah. More than a century, that would be a special occasion for me.
Okay. So how often in a year would you do something out of the ordinary like that?
I try to do once or twice a year. Depends on the life. But one of the rides I really enjoyed doing was year and a half ago. I did Land's End to General Growth. I'm wearing that top from then. That was an event. Nearly 1,000 miles. That was really enjoyable over 9 days, but that was an organized ride. That's an extreme end. If I do once a year like that, I'll be doing pretty well, but it depends,
Yeah,
as long as I'm out as much as possible, at least once a week, that's great.
It sounds great. Tell me a little bit how you came to the Condors.
Sure. So I cycled since I was a young child, but I started cycling seriously back in 2017 when we moved to Brussels for my job, and I joined the club there and started cycling more and more. And when we decided to come back to UK, to Oxford, back in 2023, I was looking for a club of, friendly club with people doing my speed. And Condors was there, and it's been great. So I tried one and joined immediately. And since then, I've been a dedicated member who's been coming out almost every week.
Oh, that's really great to hear. I mean, my sense of you is that I've seen your name a lot, but I don't think we've even ridden together, have we?
Or because I'm riding slower.
Well, but it's one of those things. Maybe we've got here one of the challenges of our club about how to meet people and have conversations when you don't see each other so much. So, what club were you in Belgium? Biggest?
It's called Brussels Big Brackets, and there was probably the largest club in Belgium. Wow. It had 500 members, and it was well organized, and it had similar ethos to Condors, beginners welcome and so on. So I was very familiar with the structure here, and it was good. It got me going. Because first few rides can be pretty tough. But that was good. Good start. Gave me a good start.
I mean, that's one of the questions that I had for you as I was thinking about this, is how your relationship with cycling might be changing over time.
Sure. Well, I don't think it's unique to me, but I started out as a kind of recovery exercise from my back injury back in the days. And I got better at it, or not better, but I think I got fitter to do cycling, and became more confident. So I've been pretty consistent, but I'm not necessarily aiming for the speed or do races. So I just want to come out and have fun.
Yeah, what's the thing that motivates you? Because obviously for some people, as you say, it's a competitive urge, but it doesn't sound like that's what's going on for you. Is this about people, or is it about the natural world, or getting fitter and staying healthy?
I think riding.
Yeah, just the feeling of riding.
Yeah, many people have their exercise of choice, and some people, for some people it's a walk. Other people do football, running, whatever. For me, it's cycling. So that's what I enjoy. So I don't necessarily have goals or, trying to win medals, but I like coming out and I feel better after riding. So it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Better in your body, better in your mind.
In a better mood, I suppose.
Do you think that's to do with the bike and the movement that you make on it, or is it to do with the company?
Oh, all of the above, I suppose. Yeah. It's not strenuous exercise.
Yes.
At the level I ride. And it's good, refreshing exercise, although, it has hard bits, hills, sometimes go fast. So it's a good mix, but it's not a all-out exercise for me. So, be able to function after my ride, which is a good thing for my family.
Yes, you don't want to get home and you're just a wreck and you fall asleep.
Sometimes it's like that, but most of the time it's not.
Yeah. I mean, the story you're telling me is one where you've been brought along by clubs almost from the start of your riding. Do you ride alone as well? Have you got a sort of solo cycling habit?
I did. I started out doing solo, but I realized that it's safer to have other people around.
Yeah.
It's more fun. I'm not as chatty as some other people, but it's nice to have other people around. And it's easier because, you can take turns. So you can go further, perhaps faster. So there are all, these are all benefits. But I sometimes do ride solo, but it takes more energy to plan my own than just to join somebody else's rides.
So one of the things I wondered about riding solo versus being in a group, you mentioned that it's safer being in a group. Another thing that draws people towards a group is the fact that you can share the labour of mechanical know-how, right? That when something goes wrong, you've got somebody who knows how to fix it. Are you a handy person with your bike?
Handy.
Okay, yeah. So you're not in a group to find other people to help you along. You're confident.
I'm pretty confident with my bike maintenance.
Yes.
I maintain my bike reasonably well, so I don't have too many mechanical problems. Do sometimes, but not too often, knock on wood. I think there is one benefit for people to be joining those rides so that they can be helped. And I think it's everybody's responsibility to have basic knowledge and skills to maintain, fixing punctures on the side of the road. Yeah. These things, as you know.
You should know how to do that,
you
right?
Should know.
Yeah. So you've mentioned a few times that you enjoy the kind of social side of cycling and that you're not a person who races. Are you a competitive person at all? Is that a part of your personality, do you think?
I can be, but not when I'm cycling. So if I'm doing rides on the harder end,
right?
Century and beyond a day, that is a competition race against myself. Well,
I see.
I don't tend to race against others. I'm not competitive in that manner.
So competition for you feels like improving on your own ability, surprising yourself, challenging yourself, more like that?
Getting to the goal or getting home, according to the day's objective. It's not competitive, but I do feel that racing is a different skill set, and I'm not trained for that, and I don't necessarily try that for my own safety.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, to think about that sort of thing, that I think a lot of people have a competitive urge, but it doesn't always come out in their hobbies. It can come out in their work. It can come out in relationships even. It can come out in all sorts of areas. And it's interesting to voice where if at all, that comes to the surface. So I'm wondering where you like to ride. You've already told us that you're Japanese and that you lived in Belgium and now you live here. So you've lived, I guess, in 3 countries? More,
but yeah,
okay.
Mainly cycled indoors, yeah.
Okay, so you mainly cycled indoors in other places, or?
Well, since I picked up cycling more seriously, that was in Belgium. So Belgium and UK around here are the main areas. Yeah.
Where's your favourite place to cycle that you've been?
I like Belgium. I mean, I love Oxfordshire, except for this, road surface.
Oh yeah, Oxfordshire, twinned with the moon.
Yeah. The continent. I find the continent to have much better road surface. Belgium, Netherlands, they maintain the cycling path.
They do
quite seriously.
Yeah.
So I like those.
Is that the main thing that you're looking for? Like, what makes a good ride is a surface that you don't need to think about too much, or are you a person who enjoys a particular kind of terrain or like certain vistas? I
like variety. I'm not very strong on hills, so I tend to avoid those extreme rides, outside of set events. So the distance, as well as the relationship with other road users, especially drivers. So every country has those people. But I think Belgium and Netherlands especially, they got used to the cyclists being around. And, the cycle paths are often separated. So, that makes it a little bit easier. But, those people exist even in Belgium. I think that makes one difference. And other than the road surface, potholes, just general quality of the roads, being wide enough, not too dangerous. I think these things. And the weather, of course. But the weather. So I think we are in a pretty good place in Oxfordshire because there are enough variety in nature around here, and I think even road users are reasonable compared to other parts of the country, I suppose, with cyclists.
I wonder, who are your preferred riding mates? Like, who do you find yourself riding with often? Who are your people in the club?
Yeah, well, so probably it's not fair to name names because I'm ought to forget someone, but people who ride somewhere between 24 to 28 kilometers per hour, and if you're listening, you know.
I was wondering, you mentioned you learned to ride a bike as a child, as I guess lots of us did. Can you remember who taught you to ride a bike and what it was like?
I was very rough with my bike. So I think I was 3. I had stabilizer wheels, and I was so rough the stabilizer wheels came off. They came off.
Oh, wow.
So I learned to ride, and perhaps, kind of natural way of learning, and I'm sure my parents helped, but I was riding pretty quickly, on my own.
So it sounds like your parents they're not a big part of that memory. Like, they were around, but we don't have your mum holding on to you and pushing you or anything. Like, it's not that memory.
In my memory, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they helped.
But your memory was sort of discovering it for yourself.
Yeah. I don't find it cycling, difficult to learn. It came naturally.
Did you stick with the bike, or did you kind of fall out of love with it for a while?
I always had my bike, but there were times. Well, there was a period I wasn't riding at all. Busy with work and all that.
So, what sort of age was that, where the bike stayed in the corner or in the shed, or?
In my early professional life, I wasn't riding at all, and I tried different sports. I did a bit of swimming. Running turned out to be a terrible exercise for me, for the knees and back. Cycling was always there, available, but it's only been 2017, 18 that I've been riding seriously with a proper bike.
It's nice to rediscover something, right?
Yeah. It's a lifelong passion. It's safe and easy enough to do as people age.
It sounds like one of the things that cycling gives you is some sort of stability, rather than this being a big goal that you project yourself into the future. It's about a week by week. I'll see my friends, I'll go out once a week, I'll kind of ground myself in my hobby and get that boost.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Well, the year I was aiming to complete Land's End to John O'Groats, that took discipline and I think I started. So the event was in September. I started training in January. So
okay.
It took a while.
Yeah.
But because I don't have that level of ambition for this year, it's more.
What year was it that you did that in?
2024.
Okay, so only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that scratched that itch for big, ambitious plans, or is it?
Yeah, it was good. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Because, in the UK, if you could do one end to the other, that's as long as you can go in one go.
Right.
It also made me discover my limit. So I do not riding overnight. I do not. So I do kind of daytime chunks. I discovered which body parts develop pain over time. So that was good to know. Knees, saddle sore to a certain extent, although it wasn't as bad as some other people. You learn, and I think 9 days was as much as I could do then. With the proper bike fit, I might be able to do a little bit further, but that's what I know. So a week, I'm confident.
So one last question, I think. When you're not cycling, what sort of hobby are you doing? Do you have other things in your life to balance time on the bike?
Well, yes, I do. Well, work and I have cycling to balance those.
Do you have other hobbies though?
Other hobbies, I read. Bike is my current biggest hobby. My work and hobby get blurred when it comes to what I'm interested in my line of work, which is data science and the life science, drug development, that kind of thing. So that's balances out. I cook, the kind of normal things. That fills the day.
But the bike is where your heart lies for hobbies at the moment.
Yeah, it's my chosen exercise. So that's what I want to do when the weather's good, or if the weather's not good, I do a bit of indoor riding. But that gives me a good balance.
Well, we'll stop there, I think. But thank you so much for
thank you for
taking
the opportunity.
time to chat.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.